Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here on this 29th of April 2024, a Monday. We're going to get in there and take a look at the news. What's this? Here, the hurricane season this year. You know, they're raising concerns about the ominous warmth in the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is much, and this is why they've been reporting a much heavier hurricane season than normal. It's going to get started right away, right soon. In fact, I think they've already had one disturbance. But this could be a much more active Atlantic hurricane season than we normally see. Of course, now they're going to have, soon they're going to have these Category 6 storms rather than Category 5 being the limit. And we all know the damage a Category 5 can do. Now, heat. I've been reporting on these what's called a wet bulb event, for a while now. And, you know, it's very interesting. Here on this planet, we have a very critical area, a very small, little, tiny zone of temperature that humans thrive at. And really, when you consider the temperatures out there in space, how cold it is, like 200 degrees below zero, and when you consider how much heat there is out in places, temperatures that exceed what we can stand, it's very critical that the Earth maintains that very, very even temperature, just perfect for our survival. And these wet bulb events, what they are is wet bulb events. What they are is your body cannot withstand more than 107 degrees internal temperature. You'll die. Yet, think about it. We're at a temperature of 98.6 degrees, our internal temperature. It's not far. It's only like 7 degrees hotter. That's not much. And when we die, so we thrive just a few degrees cooler, and if we get colder than that, 98.6, if our body temperature starts to drop, it's called hypothermia, and we die at just a few degrees lower. It has to be at a very specific temperature, and the Earth has to be at a very specific temperature in order for us to survive and thrive. So these wet bulb events, what they are is the Earth's getting too hot. And there's a lot of humidity in the air at the same time. And the body just can't expel that heat. Now, see, out in climates like out in the desert, the U.S. Southwest, they get heat that goes above those temperatures, but at the same time, it's a very dry heat. And it's easy to cool yourself by putting some water on yourself. The evaporative effect of the evaporation cools your body down in no time. But during a wet bulb event, you can't do that. And even though the temperatures are lower during a wet bulb event, I mean, out in the American Southwest desert, it could go up to 125 degrees, for crying out loud. But you'll survive it because you can cool yourself off. Your sweat cools you off really effectively. But in these wet bulb events, the temperature might only go up to 100 or 105. And say, people that live out in the Southwest say, oh, that's nothing, 100, 105. I've been out in 125. No, it is. It's totally different. Because of the amount of humidity, your body can't expel the heat. And so the temperature goes up over 100 in a wet bulb event. And you actually start to die if you get too hot in that. Because your body cannot get rid of the heat. There's no evaporative mechanism any longer. And so we're seeing these waves of exceptionally hot weather in Southeast Asia right now, and this is basically a wet bulb event that's occurring right now. It says Thai authorities have said that 30 people have been killed by heat stroke so far. So it could get a lot worse, and a lot more people could die. But these are blamed directly on the heat. 30 people have died in it, and so an awful lot of people are escaping, it says here, for air conditioning. They're going inside to get relief, local media reported. And that's fine as long as the power doesn't go out. So an awful lot of people are surviving because they're using air conditioning as a way of cooling off in this thing. It could be coming. This could be a very bad year for not only hurricanes, but also for heat events, heat waves in the United States. And they could start very soon, guys, just in the next couple months. Now, Israel is, they're worried. They're very worried. They're working to block a feared International Criminal Court arrest warrants against the Prime Minister and others over the Gaza war. Government sources says that The Hague is focused on allegations that Israel deliberately starved Gazans. And the IDF is given a rare press briefing over the humanitarian efforts and so on. And so this is something that's going on right now in Israel. It says Israel's making the concerted effort to head off feared plans by the International Criminal Court to issue arrest warrants against Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other top Israel officials. An Israel government source told the Times of Israel on Saturday. It says the National Security Council is heading the campaign, according to the source. Foreign Ministry is also involved. We are operating where we can, said an Israeli diplomat. So, this article comes from the Times of Israel. Now, the next thing I want to point out to you guys here is, how is America doing as far as finances are concerned? Well, on my shows, I've kind of broke it down into tiers, and one tier of people are the people who are being affected right now. They're low-income earners. Oftentimes, these low-income earners either have no high school diploma or they may have a high school diploma, but they certainly don't have a bachelor's degree or an associate degree. And we're going to discuss that for a minute, but if you take a look at the financial well-being, these tiers, the first tier that's going is the tier that's in the low earning wage group, that's from 18 to 29 years of age, and they have no high school diploma. And what we're seeing here is roughly somewhere between 38 and 56% of these people of that tier group already don't have any money left over at the end of the month, or they're going in the hole every month right now. And that's the red you see on the chart. That's the first tier. They're getting hit first. They're becoming homeless, or they don't have any money. And then this gold colored tier that's in the middle, they're going to be hit next. And typically they're in all age or all categories of age groups, and they're running out of money next. And they represent about a good chunk of the population, And so when this economy starts to impact and really hit the ones that are in the blue right here, and the ones that are the third tier within the structure of society, that's when things really start to get dicey. And so we're going through the first tier right now. We're going to enter into the second tier. It's going to get dicey on the second tier, I'll tell you the truth. What I mean by dicey is, a large percentage of the population who just aren't cutting it. They just, their money's all gone the first 2 weeks of the month. And a good chunk, some in these tiers are going to start probably turning to other things to try to put it together. That's because they're just not making it. And their voices are going to start to be heard at a certain point when it gets to be a higher and higher number of them. Right now we're in that red tier, and we're working toward the gold tier, and then soon we start to cut into the blues, and then everybody out there is suffering just like the Great Depression at a certain point. And this is coming in fast. So pay attention to these charts. I'm oftentimes looking at charts, And I see the problem in this. The problem in this is going to be a mass voice. It's going to hit all at once of people who just aren't making it. And they got nothing to lose at a certain point, especially this reg group, because they're the first to go. They're already in this situation. There's probably 20 million to 40 million of them out there in the United States of America right now are already in this situation. And you see crime increasing. Probably every day when you drive to work now, you see something going on. Maybe two people fighting in a parking lot or something. This is going to get a lot worse. Okay, along with the homelessness problem. Okay, so now we're taking a look at the silver chart today. And silver's, it's down just a tad. It's at 27.17 right now. That's where the silver price is at. And looks like it's going down right now in price somewhat. Gold price today is down $4.80 at $23.32. It's a funny little period we're in right now. It's kind of like a calm before the storm. All this stuff out there is just like taking a few days off, you know, the war and the financial thing and everything else, you know. A little funny little calm before the storm right now. But all these problems have not went away. They're going to get a whole lot worse, a whole lot faster. Cryptocurrency today is down. It's been down the last couple of days, but it's kind of trying to hold its own up above 60,000. 62,177 for Bitcoin. It might be starting to cool down a little bit. I don't know. But we haven't seen much. It dropped from it was trying to make it over 72,000. It was like running between 68 and 72,000, and it went up to 72,000 a couple times and then backed off. Now it's back down to 62,000, and it's just trying to hang on the last few days, you know. And so is the heat coming off of this rally? I don't know. Or is just a break, a little bit of a correction within a larger bull market. Ethereum is at 31.33 and XRP is at 50.5 cents. Now the Dow Jones Industrial Average, she's up 100 points, up 98 points today at 38,338. And taking a look at our crude oil today, it's down 66 cents at 83.19 for crude. Bonds and rates, they're kind of taking a little day off too. It's like everybody's taking a little bit of a breather. All the situations. Just for now. We're looking at our bond rates going down a little bit. The U.S. 10-years dropped 2.4 basis points, and it sits at 4.64. And the U.S. 30-year is at 4.76, and it's down 1.9 basis points. Just lets a tiny little bit of pressure off. Now, probably tomorrow or the next day, we'll see them shoot up 5, 6, 7 basis points. That's the way it's been going. Taking a look at the U.S. dollar index is at 105.85. And the dollar is steady as she goes today. More or less, I'm going to say she was dropping earlier, but it's made back those losses, and so it's just basically going straight along with the board today. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. And you guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.